First, tonight we're going to be discussing a disturbing video from Bihar that has triggered outrage across political spectrum and has raised serious questions about power, patriarchy and impunity. Just a month after taking oath as Chief Minister of Bihar for the 10th time, Nitish Kumar is seen pulling down a woman's hijab at an event organized to distribute appointment letters to over 1,200 Ayush doctors. Nitish Kumar is seen speaking to the doctor, apparently asking her to remove the veil. Before she could react, the Chief Minister pulled down the hijab, exposing her face. In the background, his aides were seen laughing while Deputy Chief Minister Samrat Chaudhary was seen trying to stop Nitish.
जिस नेता की बात करते हैं वो नेता हम सबका गार्जियन है, अभिभावक है, पिता तुल्य है। एक दुलार में, एक प्यार में, क्योंकि बच्ची है, बेटी है उनकी, मेडिकल लाइन में सक्सेस हुई है, उसको लेकर उन्होंने कहा बेटा चेहरा दिखाओ, दुनिया जानेगी कि नहीं बेटी उस लायक हमारी समाज की बेटी। एक दुलार में, एक प्यार में। अब नजरिया सबका अलग अलग होता है।
हमारे प्रोफेट मोहम्मद साहब की ख्वाहिशें को किसने पूरा किया? उनकी ख्वाहिशें क्या थी? उनकी ख्वाहिश थी कि बेटियों को अच्छी तालीम और तरबियत, एक अच्छी जिंदगी सुनिश्चित करना। तो उनकी ख्वाहिशों को अगर किसी ने भी पूरा किया है ना, तो उस शख्स का नाम श्री नीतीश कुमार जी है।
Viewers, Bihar Chief Minister Nitish Kumar finds himself in the center of this massive political and social storm. Now, his controversial remarks have triggered sharp condemnation, not just from opposition parties, but also from allies. And in fact, we are looking at those from the opposition, including the RJD, calling his mental state pitiable, even the Congress party demanding his resignation, a national conference urging him to seek medical help and step aside. The outrage is loud and clear.
As a chief minister, you should be giving a woman the respect she deserves, but by publicly humiliating her by pulling down her hijab, how does it even make sense? How did it even, what made him think that he had the right to do what he did? I think he needs to apologize, not just to the lady, but also to the women of this country.
तो ये बिल्कुल बर्दाश्त के काबिल नहीं है और मुझे लगता है कि इसमें हम लोग क्या ही कहें। उनको खुद पे अगर ग्लानि हो तो उनको खुद रिजाइन देना चाहिए। ये महिलाओं का बहुत बड़ा अपमान हुआ है।
ये चिंता का और भी विषय है कि जहां भारतीय जनता पार्टी गठबंधन की सरकार हो और मुख्यमंत्री जी का व्यवहार इस तरीके का हो, तो भारतीय जनता पार्टी जो वहां पे नफरत और बंटवारे की राजनीति कर रही है, उसको निसंदेह और मौका मिलता है।
ये पूरे बिहार के लिए चिंता का विषय है। मैं कतई नहीं मान सकता कि इससे बिहार का गवर्नेंस और द आइडिया ऑफ गवर्नेंस प्रभावित ना होता हो।
You're watching the News Hour at 10, debate number 1 on Times Now, Super Prime Time.
Joining us on the show is Manish Baryar, spokesperson of the Bihar BJP. We have Shweta Priya, national spokesperson of the JDU. Tehseen Poonawala, political analyst, is with us. Ravi Shankar Ravi is national spokesperson of the RJD. Sarah Shah Halim, activist, is with us. Sarah Shah Halim, let me begin with you. Both these incidents, whether we're talking about Bihar, whether we're talking about this shocking misogynist comment coming in from Uttar Pradesh, it shows a certain kind of mindset. And ultimately, there are much larger issues here. One is, of course, being the chief minister, being a role model, and his conduct, of course, being under scrutiny. And the other is about the basic approach to issues such as consent. Because these are very real social problems here in India, but there seems to be absolutely no condemnation. There will be no punishment, no action taken. Sarah Shah Halim.
Yeah, so thank you so much, Madhav. You've raised a very pertinent point because let's be very clear here. Firstly, you talked about consent. Okay, there was no consent taken from the woman. Let's be very clear. Then there's a legal angle. Then there's a religious angle. So let's just get it to the very fact is, the garment, the hijab, the niqab that we're talking about. So for Muslim women, right, wearing a hijab is a mandatory expression of their faith, right? And it is a fundamental religious right that is guaranteed by the Indian Constitution, okay? Now for a state official, and that too in such a senior authority like the CM, to do this in full public purview, it's a direct violation of this freedom that is guaranteed to all of us, right, as Indian. Secondly, is the young woman's public humiliation, right? The act of removing a personal religious garment in public, right? She is so embarrassed, in front of the crowds, in front of the people who are cheering on this, this man, and it subjects to public humiliation, right? And shame. Now, if you all have noticed, there was a stark presence of a smirk, right, from Mr. Nitish Kumar. And, you could hear laughter, nearby that's going on. Right? So this only expedites the distress that is being caused to this very, very young woman. And
Absolutely.
then we come to personal autonomy, right? These action disregards the woman's basic fundamental right, that means control over her body and her personal choice of dress, which is a key aspect of individual dignity and autonomy that is all guaranteed by the Indian
I want Shweta
Constitution.
Priya to answer that. There are some
Third
very
important
serious
is-
issues, bodily autonomy, consent, all of these are of course issues. But look at the approach of others. Not one person is able to prevent Mr. Nitish Kumar from doing this. And what's worse is that there are men laughing. What is going on, Shweta Priya? Is this the kind of conduct we expect in 2025?
No, Madhav. Madhav, just here the thing is that we call him in Bihar, Nitish ji is called as a chacha. So that is an emotion in Bihar. If we say about our Honorable Chief Minister, so if we talk about a woman, if her age is that young woman, so women consider him as a chacha and like a father, and the elder woman consider him as a son. So this was completely a relationship like a father and daughter, and that's why this was a pride moment for that young lady, and that's why he wanted her to show his identity for her success. That was the reason why, because there is no audio here. What has been said over there is, "Beti, tum apna ye chehra to dikhao." So that is not there. The person who are present there. So
Shweta Priya, he could have asked her to remove the niqab or the hijab herself. He is pulling down somebody else's hijab. How is that acceptable? Even if you are somebody's chacha or someone's uncle, does that give you the right to do this?
So he has done a lot for women. If you will see,
So he will start pulling down the hijab.
A lot for women.
What is this logic, ma'am? Tehseen,
No,
he has done a lot for women. So therefore this conduct is acceptable.
A fatherly gesture towards
Shweta, if I may, we have two empowered women on this panel. One's Sarah Shahaleen, somebody I really respect and adore a lot, and we have Shweta, who is a budding spokesperson of the JDU. Both of these women, irrespective of their ideologies, would not like to be touched without their consent. And I'm sorry I'm personalizing it. I cannot be your daddy, chacha, uncle, brother, and touch you without your consent. If I want you to remove your hijab, niqab, or dupatta or anything, I have to tell you. That's the basic decency. And Nitish Kumar ji crossed that decency. If you see Samrat Chaudhary ji behind, he's trying to hold Nitish Kumar ji back. Nitish Kumar ji in his head may think he's dadding people or chachaing people or brothering people. That's not the way this works. It's basic decorum. Number two, this isn't about whether she's wearing a hijab or what she's wearing. The right to what she wears is her sovereign right. And you have no right to cross that line. And for Nishad ji to say what he said as a minister, I think that is disgusting. And Shweta, I think as an empowered woman, you would object to it. Where else should he touch her? You think this is right language? And I hope that the BJP that stands up for women's rights or claims to stand up for Ladki Bachao, Ladki Badao will take objection to this and suspend Sanjay Nishad ji.
Manish Baria, respond to that. Nitish Kumar to Nitish Kumar. Look at what Sanjay Nishad is saying. और कहीं टच करते तो क्या होता? What is going on, sir? This is absolutely abhorrent kind of commentary happening from elected public representatives.
So good evening to you, Madhav ji, and all my co-panelists, as well as the viewers. I think, this Nitish ji issue was a inadvertent error. It was I would say that, awkward moment. That is what one understands. And at the same time, I'm no one to defend what has happened. But at the same time, I think what Shweta ji was trying to say is that he has a public record of last 45 years. That doesn't give anybody a license to do what. So I'm not trying to justify. But what I'm trying to say is that it's very important to understand the context, his intent, right? At the same time, what he has, has been always with public probity and his conduct and everything. So from that point of view, I think one can understand the context. He would understand And accordingly, he was never shied away from anything. And we really hold him in very highest
Manish
respect.
Bariyar,
And I think
Manish
sometimes
Bariyar,
these
he
kind
may
of
have a track record of
awkward
social
moments do
service.
happen.
He may have a track
But,
record
at the same
in
time,
public
I
life
think,
that does not enable anyone to behave in this manner. And I don't think that is an acceptable argument. Nevertheless,
these kind of moments are very embarrassing. There's no doubt over it.
Nevertheless, Ravi Shankar Ravi, your response to that, your response to the argument of Manish Bariyar that this is something that, this is coming from a person who has a track record. Ye chacha hai, he's a fatherly figure.
No, I don't agree with that, Madhav. This is a clear-cut evidence of Nitish Ji's mental weakness and mental unsoundness. This episode should not be seen and understood as a isolated act of his. There have been several issues: putting pot on the officials, laughing when national anthem was being sung, speaking in assembly on how to prevent pregnancy, and then this episode. So this kind of behavior is a clear-cut case of violating the personal space of a woman, and this should come under the category of outraging the modesty of a woman. But the problem is BJP, he is the ally of BJP, and everything is excusable. He would be excused. It will not be an issue for BJP. I also remember when Bikram Misri's daughter was trolled when Bhumika Singh and Sophia Qureshi were labeled as the sister of terrorists. And what happened? There was no apology. And this time also there will be no apology. So in this kind of a mental state, how would a person run the
Actually, I think there was an apology, but no further action. But I want to go back to the important point that you raised. As far as Mr. Nitish Kumar is concerned, Shweta Priya, the RJD spokesperson says that there are many episodes in recent days which shows that Mr. Nitish Kumar may not be in the best of health. And therefore, they are arguing that he is not fit for the position of Chief Minister. Your response to it?
No, this is not the situation. This is a narrative which has been created by the RJD or the opposition. Because if one example I would like to give it here, that during rally, again, the same narrative was being created. But the thing is that in 2 days, he has done multiple rallies and more than Tejasvi Yadav. So then also they have raised the health issue. So this was not the case. And still, the case is not what they are saying. So he is completely in a good health. His condition is completely good if we talk about his health then. And there is no such case. So this incident is not as you or the opposition is trying to create a narrative, because this is not any kind of we cannot consider it anti-women act, because this is, as I said, that I'm not agreed with your opinion or the opinion which has been created regarding this issue, because if you would have heard the audio, if you have the audio of that event, you can show it to the public. You can you can check that audio. So there it was a statement, बेटी इसको हटाओ.
Madhav, I have a point to make.
Many hands going up. Tehseen, I want to ask you a specific question. It is unfortunate and this is certainly condemnable. But there are equal number of condemnable actions that have come in from the Congress party. Whether it's Supriya Shrinate and a Mandi mein kya bhav hai post, whether it is Pappu Yadav himself is calling this a fatherly act, by the way, and Pappu Yadav supports the India Alliance. Then you have, of course, leaders such as Ajay Rai, who in December 2020 took a jibe at Smriti Irani talking about her latkas and jhatkas. So this misogyny is something that cuts across party lines, unfortunately.
Yeah, that's true. And I'm not going to sit here and defend misogyny. The problem is women anyways have it very hard to make it in India, particularly in politics. And then you have misogyny on top of it. You have men behaving as if women are properties and they have a right to touch or to pass comments about them. And then it's justified saying he's a father figure, he's a chacha figure, he's not done this for so many years. Now, if what Shweta says, that Mr. Nitish Kumar ji is of sound health mentally, as Ravi Shankar Ravi ji said that he may not be, then that makes it even more serious and it makes it a criminal offense. You cannot be entering a woman's sovereign right to dress the way she wants and violating that, even if you're the chief minister of the state. That's unacceptable. What he should have done is said, beta, remove it. And she chose to remove the hijab or niqab or whatever it is. That's her choice. She chose not to. That's her sovereign right. He has no right to touch her, no matter how much he thinks he's a father figure or a chacha figure. So let's not justify it. Let's call it out. And I hope the BJP and Manish ji says here today that action will be taken against Sanjay Nishad, because you took no action against your minister and who called Sofia Qureshi a terrorist. So
what action will be taken against Mr. Nishad? Manish, clarify. Will action be taken against him?
Madhav ji, first I would like to say that stigmatizing mental health is not something which is welcome. And, the way it comes out, I think I would really, object to that. For political gains, speaking on mental health is something which is, again, taking this discussion to a different domain. But having said that, I would like to also reply Ravi ji. See, since Mr. Ravi had come as an individual and then he would have really condemned this, I would have really taken it. But I would like you to take to Lalu Prasad's number of remarks like that. I'm not trying to justify this incident for that. But then in 2014, when Nitish ji was going for a rally, he said he's going for a Nayan Sukh, reprehensible. In Parliament, he talked about balkatti to short-haired women. And his infamous statement about Hema Malini's cheek. All these are misogynistic, this thing. And I think I would agree with Tehseen ji that these are issues which need to be condemned, and there is no space for letting it go. So this is what my understanding is.
Ravi Shankar Ravi, direct charge. Your own party leader, Lalu Yadav, from Hema Malini's gal to balkatti to all those statements, they are also highly misogynist. Let's admit it.
Madhav, this is an utter lie, a rumor. It was first spoken by Mr. Atal Bihari Vajpayee. Laluji never said
line?
so.
What is he saying?
Laluji never said so. Hema Malini के गाल ये सब वो बोले नहीं कभी.
बोले नहीं कभी. कैसी बात कर रहे हैं सर?
On record.
Come on.
क्या बात कर रहे हैं ये? कुछ भी बोल रहे हैं
Ravi Shankar Ravi, please. This is all on record, Ravi Shankar Ravi.
Madhav ji, he has to apologize for what he is saying.
The problem is
he cannot speak like this. Ravi, you cannot speak like that.
The visuals are in front of everyone. What is a joke? What is spoken in light-heartedness, and what is violating the personal space? All these are different things.
So there's an old saying that one man's comedy is another man's tragedy. In this case, perhaps woman it would be the more appropriate one, but a more appropriate phraseology. But Saira Shah Halim, this is the problem. That for certain political parties, when the mirror is shown, then it becomes light-hearted humor. The misogyny is totally missed.
I like to remind the Bihar BJP spokesperson that there is no light-heartedness in the official program. And here, what was the official program? It was the official appointment letter which was being given by the, by the chief minister himself, which is the highest executive authority in the state. And it creates a very poor power imbalance, right? Here, the woman is unable to check him because here she cannot protest. She is coming in contact with the state CM. And, she will really risk her future career prospects. So in this state, she's caught up, in this very, very uncomfortable situation where, she is being made to feel, disrespected. Okay. And here, the woman comes from a minority community, and it is, forget minority community, it is disrespect to women professionals. As simple as that. Because here, there is a gender disregard to this entire incident. And what is really truly appalling is there's certain people sitting on this panel who are engaging in whataboutery instead of just acknowledging what transpired. And all we need is a public apology from the Bihar CM that, yes, what I did was wrong, and I apologize to the girl, because doing this, would, I wouldn't say it will kind of absolve him of everything, but I would say it will help to de-escalate the issue, because this incident clearly has extremely patriarchal overtones, no matter what you say, cha-cha, mama,
Okay. There's some breaking updates coming in. Times Now has actually spoken to Sanjay Nishad. We've tried to get a response from him for those misogynistic comments. Let's quickly listen into what he had to say.
आपका बयान वायरल हो रहा है जब आपसे बिहार के मुख्यमंत्री के बारे में सवाल किया गया तो आप कह रहे हैं सिर्फ घूंघट ही छुआ था। ये किस तरह का बयान है? आप एक जिम्मेदार मंत्री हैं, क्या आपको इस तरह का बयान देना चाहिए?
देखिए, अगर किसी को भी भोजपुरी भाषा और पूर्वांचल के बारे में कुछ सामाजिक सांस्कृतिक भाषा के बारे में अगर ज्ञान होगा तो वह अब इससे अच्छी तरह समझता होगा कि हमारे पूर्वांचल में या भोजपुरी में किस तरीके से किसी बात को मतलब हल्के अंदाज में टालने के लिए कुछ हंसी टाइप बोल देता आदमी जो है, और उसे एक सामान्य अंदाज में बोला जाता है कि मामले को पारंपरिक तौर पर हम लोग कहते हैं कि जिस तरीके मैं एक लाइन बता दूं कि जैसे हमारे यहाँ कहा था भोजपुरी में, फलानमा ऐसे ऐसे कह लेना कुछ और नाइन कहलस है, चला बात खत्म कर।
लेकिन
तो
आप तो हिंदी बोल रहे थे ना उसमें कि सिर्फ घूंघटी तो छुआ है और तो कुछ नहीं छू लिया।
ऐसा नहीं है, हम लोगों के जो लैंग्वेज हम लोगों का उसको दूसरे रूप में नहीं लेना चाहिए लोगों को। यह कोई अपमान वाली भाषा हमारा नहीं था और हमारा कोई इस तरह का बातचीत करने को किसी तरीके का किसी के प्रति ठेस पहुंचाने का नहीं था, न किसी महिला को अपमानजनक किसी धर्म और किसी तरह का हमारा कोई उद्देश्य तरीके नहीं था। ये था कि उसको एक हल्के अंदाज में था कि इसको मैं टाल दूं। और
लेकिन आपको नहीं लगता है कि आप एक जिम्मेदार मंत्री हैं और ये जो मामला था ये कोई हल्का मामला नहीं था जिसको आप हल्के अंदाजे में डालने की कोशिश कर रहे थे?
ये कोई अपमान नहीं था बल्कि बातचीत का आगे बढ़ाने और विवाद को बचने का एक जो तरीका था उसको हम लोगों ने अपनाया था उसको। और चूंकि मैं गोरखपुर से आने वाला हूँ, पूर्वांचल के रहने वाला हूँ और देश के क्षेत्र के भाषा के बारे में आप जान ही रहे हो कि पूरे देश में कैसी भाषा बोली जाती है और उसको किसी संदर्भ में नहीं लेना चाहिए और उसको लोग गलत मतलब इसको कर रहे हैं। जैसे
तो आप कह रहे हैं कि जो आपने बोला उसको गलत संदर्भ में लिया जा रहा है?
हाँ, गलत संदर्भ में लिया जा रहा है। तो कि अभी आप तमिल में देखेंगे, किसी और भाषा में देखेंगे तो लोग अभी देखते हैं कि कुछ वहाँ दूसरे हिसाब से रहता है, हमारे यहाँ दूसरे हिसाब से रहता है। कहीं देखो रे कहा जाता है तो यहाँ कहीं सम्मान से कहा जाता है। तो ये इसको दूसरे अंदाज में रोजमर्रा का प्रयुक्त होने वाला।
लेकिन मेरा सवाल फिर वही है कि आप तो हिंदी में बात कर रहे थे ना, आपने कहा कि सिर्फ घूंघटी तो छुआ है।
हिंदी और भोजपुरी लगभग हमारे यहाँ एक ही जैसे होती है, बोली भाषा जो होती है, और इसको बिना मतलब का लोग जो है विवाद खड़ा कर रहे हैं और ऐसा कुछ है नहीं। हम लोग हंसते हुए उसको कहा था और हंसते हुए उसको।
Can you believe it? This is a justification coming in from Sanjay Nishad. Manish Bharia, this is shocking. He is saying वहां की सांस्कृतिक और सामाजिक चीजों को देखना चाहिए. He is speaking in Hindi, he is referring to Bhojpuri. No culture in the world will allow for this kind of blatant sexism. The manner in which he is saying, चेहरा ही तो छुआ है और कहीं छूते. Is this the language we expect from our ministers? And smiling and justifying it?
No, I think, this video that has come, he is apologetic and he is not trying to justify as such. But then his understanding is that it has been taken out of context. I still feel that it was in very bad taste.
Tehseen.
How is saying he only touched her hijab and nowhere else being taken out of context. It clearly has an inappropriate tones to it. He is a sitting minister of the government of Uttar Pradesh, and Yogi ji is known to be very strict on this. Will the bulldozer work here? Will you take action here? Or like how Colonel Sofia Qureshi was called the sister of terrorists, there will be a justification and all will be forgotten because everything BJP and its allies done is all correct? Is that how you expect it? If this was spoken to one of the people we knew, one of the women we knew, one of the women in our family, would we justify this? Would you justify it, Manish Bhai?
No, obviously I said what I had to say.
No, so then will action be taken? That's the question.
Okay, let me bring in the other panelist. Shweta Priya, do you think that this kind of comment should go unpunished? और कई छूते, ये मंत्रियों के भाषा इस तरह का कैसे? How can they use this kind of language?
Madhav ji, I would say that intention is very important for any act or for any words. So here we must see the intention, what Nitish ji has done. So if you will see the act, you must see.
No, I'm asking about Mr. Nishad. Do you think that he has made a correct comment? Being a woman, ma'am, aren't you outraged with the kind of statement Mr. Nishad has made?
No, this statement is completely, I condemn this statement. But apart from this, as you were saying about Nitish ji and the action, so if you have to see the action before before that, we must see the intention of any act.
Well,
So
I think, you know, from the days of whether it's, this is not about any ideology. Let me make it very clear. Mulayam Singh, ladke hai, galti ho jati hai, to series of such comments, you know, which have casually explained these kinds of acts. There are serious problems with that, whether they're coming in from opposition political parties or the ruling political parties. It just doesn't matter. But this kind of action, when it happens to someone in power, is that much more shocking and deplorable. We'll just have to leave it there. Manish Bariyar, Shweta Priya, Tehseen Purawala, Ravi Shankar Ravi, Saira Shah Aleem, thanks so much for joining us.